Good morning and welcome to the 8th of February Smart Television Review of the Weekend papers. A couple of things have caught my eye this week. Firstly, some very good news. That being that the Shadow Chancellor, George Osborne, has proposed the complete abolition of the requirement to purchase an annuity from your pensions at age 75. I've had many discussions with many of our clients, many of you, about this problem, and we've worked on a number of solutions as to how we may address that situation when you get there. Unfortunately, most of you have a few years before you're going to get there, but it has always seemed to me an incredibly pointless end point to take for regular pension planning. Bearing in mind that this age 75 point has been in place for decades, and over those decades, the average life expectancy of the people in the UK has increased significantly. So at the original point that age 75 was introduced, most people were dead before 75, so it was pretty much a moot point. The fact now that the average life expectancy is between 85 and 90 makes the fact that people are compelled to buy an annuity at 75 a preposterous situation. What George Osborne hasn't done so far is filled in the rest of the story with regard to what he's proposing, but at least the starting point that says this will be abolished at 75 is a huge step forward. Politics, as I'm sure you're very well aware, is full of people saying one thing one day and one thing the next day. So following on from our theme in Smart Television this year, I would again implore you to write to your MP and write to him citing the fact that George Osborne has said this. It doesn't matter whether they're a Labour MP, a Tory MP, a Liberal or whatever. Write to them, tell them that this has been floated and tell them that it has your absolute support, and with a bit of luck, irrespective of which government comes in, be it the existing government or a new government, that we might actually manage to take this disgraceful point away. And it's a huge disincentive to people planning for their own futures. So with a bit of luck, the power of writing to your MP and spoiling their day will make a change, at least from them getting articles giving them abuse about their expenses, maybe would be quite productive. The other thing I just wanted to run by you is that Financial Express have just produced their list of the top performing fund managers. And they've done what they always do. They look back over the last 5 years, they've adjusted for risk, so they look at how volatile the funds are and they make sure that they take that into account in their consideration. They compare them against their benchmarks and they produce this wonderful list, and they produced 110 names of these are the best performing fund managers. With the implication being that you should then go out and select these people to look after your money. However, not a single one of these were the people who Financial Express viewed to be the best performing fund managers 5 years ago. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us something that's very straightforward. If you take a point in time and look backwards to a point in time, there will always be people who are doing better or worse than the market. There will always be winners and losers. But what it tells us, much more importantly than that, is it tells us nothing about who's going to be the winner for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years that you're investing your money. So once again, Financial Express, which is funded obviously at least in part by the fund management people who subscribe to be listed on their service, have produced this fantastic data that is utterly worthless from the point of view of helping you decide what to do with your money. What's really disappointing is it then gets played in the broadsheets, the Telegraph, etc. It gets given credibility, and people who don't have the opportunity for an alternative view assume that this is the way forward. It's because of studies like this and journalism like this that we come across clients with a portfolio of PIPs and ISAs where they bought the thing that the paper told them was the best place to invest their money each year. And surprise, surprise, in general, they end up with a collective of funds that are underperforming, and they end up with a collection of funds that don't give them anything like the risk profile that they're looking for. Smart financial planning does not believe that fund managers can beat the fund market, their benchmarks, and beat the stock market consistently when you adjust for the costs that they incur by trying to do so. And in fact, 2/3 of funds that operate year in, year out fail their benchmark. So why would you want to put yourself into a situation where statistically you've got a 2 in 3 chance of being wrong, when you could be in a situation where you are constantly going to get the top third performance, and you get that by investing passively and in the lowest cost fashion that you possibly can in the market. So once again, Financial Express doing its best to promote the interests of the big fund management houses and the banks. Smart Financial Planning disagreeing profusely. Standard fare. That's all for this week. I hope you have a nice week.